Okay, so let's talk about AI. It feels like it's everywhere, doesn't it? But here's the real question. How do you actually get past all the hype and make it work for your team? Like, for real? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to break down a super practical guide to getting AI right, and it all boils down to two key paths you can take: automation or augmentation.
And let's be real for a second. This quote, it just nails it. The promise of AI is equal parts thrilling and overwhelming. It's this wild mix of excitement about what's possible and then this feeling of dread that you're already behind or that it's all just way too complicated to even begin. So how do you actually turn all that hype into a real, tangible advantage? Well, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And spoiler alert, it's not about just buying the latest, fanciest AI tool. Nope, it's about building a smart strategy that actually fits your team and what you're trying to achieve. And that is exactly what we're going to map out right now.
All right, so let's get into it. First, we've got to understand why this feels so urgent right now. The huge push for AI isn't just happening out of nowhere. It's a direct answer to some really intense pressures that, honestly, almost every single team is dealing with today.
I mean, look at this list. Does any of this sound familiar? You've got staffing shortages, which means everyone's trying to do more with less. Then there are the margin pressures, pushing everyone to be leaner. You've probably got some old tech slowing you down. We call that technology debt. And on top of all that, your customers expect everything to be better and faster than ever. It's a perfect storm, and AI is showing up looking like the answer. But the how you use it, that's the whole ballgame.
And that brings us to maybe the single most important decision you're going to make on this whole AI journey. This isn't just about picking some new software. It's much bigger than that. It's about choosing a philosophy for your workforce. Are you trying to replace human tasks, or are you trying to enhance human skills? This simple framework is going to make that choice crystal clear.
Okay, let's break this down because it's super important. On one side, you've got automation. Think of this as AI replacing a human task. We're talking about the repetitive, boring stuff, right? Like automatically sorting and paying invoices. The machine just does it. But then you have augmentation. This is totally different. This is about AI enhancing what a person can do. It's like giving your team superpowers. The AI becomes a co-pilot, helping them make smarter, faster decisions.
And this little table here is your cheat sheet. It's actually a really powerful way to think about it. Just ask yourself a few questions. Is the task you're looking at super repetitive and based on a clear set of rules? Yep, that's a check mark for automation. But does it need some human judgment, some nuance, some creativity? Then you're definitely looking at augmentation. Is your main goal just to cut down on boring manual work? Go for automation. But if your goal is to improve the quality of the decisions your team is making, that's augmentation, all the way.
Okay, so this all sounds great, right? We have a framework, it seems simple enough, but hold on. Before we get too carried away, we need a serious reality check. Because here's the thing, a lot of companies are hitting a wall. They're finding out the hard way that you can't just plug in some AI and expect all your problems to magically disappear.
I mean, just look at this stat from Gartner. By 2027, a full 50% of companies that try to completely replace their customer service staff with AI will just give up on those plans. 50%. That's half of them. So this whole dream of a totally agentless future, yeah, it's smashing right into a brick wall of reality.
And here's the flip side, which is even more telling. In fact, a whopping 95% of customer service leaders, they're planning to keep human agents in the loop. They're not getting rid of their teams. They're using them more strategically to guide the AI. They're realizing that the winning play is having humans handle the tricky stuff, the stuff that needs a real human touch. It's not about replacement. It's about partnership.
So why is this so hard? What's the big disconnect? Well, it really comes down to three huge roadblocks. Number one, your own employees are resistant, and you can't blame them. About a third of them are genuinely scared of losing their jobs. Number two is poor data. This one is massive. 83% of IT leaders admit their data systems just aren't up to snuff. And you know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. And finally, number three, all the security and compliance headaches. Leaders are, and should be, very concerned about things like inaccuracy and privacy. Okay, so knowing all of those challenges, how do we actually get this right? Well, instead of reinventing the wheel, we can take a look at a fantastic example, Microsoft's own internal playbook for training their entire workforce on AI. Seriously, it's like a masterclass in how to do this thoughtfully.
So here's part one of the playbook, and it all starts with nurturing the right culture. You just can't force this stuff.
First, you've got to give people space to just play around and explore, without the pressure of having to be perfect right away. Second, you have to make learning fun and interactive. Nobody wants to read a dry manual. Instead, think about challenges, group sessions, things that spark real curiosity. And third, encourage people to share what they learn with each other. That peer-to-peer knowledge sharing is often the fastest way for these new skills to really take hold.
Okay, part 2 of the playbook is all about building structure. Because AI can feel so huge and overwhelming, you need to give people clear, structured learning paths. And here's a crucial piece of advice. Make the training specific to their job. Right? What a marketer needs from AI is completely different from what a developer needs. And always, always start with the foundations first. You have to build up that basic confidence before you can even think about moving on to the more advanced stuff.
And this quote from a top exec at Microsoft, Judson Althoff, just sums up the whole goal perfectly. He says, AI transformation is enriching the employee experience and reinventing customer engagement. See, it's not just about being faster or cheaper. When you do it right, it's about making work better for your employees, which then allows them to create way better experiences for your customers. It's a total win-win.
And finally, part 3 of the playbook is all about making it stick, driving adoption for the long haul. This means you need super clear guidelines for responsible use, so everyone's on the same page. You also have to have a plan to update your training materials constantly, because this stuff changes fast. And a great little tip, use rewards, like simple badges or certifications, to keep people engaged and make continuous learning feel like a fun habit, not a chore. So, when you pull all of this together, the whole automation versus augmentation framework, the reality check about why projects fail, and this playbook for success, one single, clear strategy starts to emerge. And it's this. The winning approach isn't humans versus machines, it's humans with machines. This is what we call the human-in-the-loop model, and it's so powerful. The idea is simple. Let the AI do the heavy lifting, right? The number crunching, the data sorting, the first draft of that email. But the human, you, provides that crucial final layer, the oversight, the context, the, does this feel right? Gut check, and ultimately, the final judgment. It's literally the best of both worlds.
And what's so great about this approach is that it's not just more effective, it's also way safer. Keeping a human in the loop is our best defense against some of the scariest risks with AI, like algorithmic bias hiding in the data, or that black box problem, where the AI spits out an answer and we have no idea how it got there. A human provides that essential layer of accountability.
And really, that leaves us with this final big question to think about. As AI gets smarter and smarter, the conversation is shifting. It's not just about what can it do for us anymore. The real question is, how do we make sure it acts for us? How do we ensure that it operates fairly, transparently, and responsibly? That's the real challenge and the real work that lies ahead for all of us.